Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to build a complete FortiGate virtual lab from scratch using VMware. This tutorial will guide you through every step. We'll start by downloading and installing VMware. Then, we'll download the FortiGate virtual machine image and create a new FortiGate VM with the recommended settings. Once the firewall is up and running, we'll deploy a second virtual machine to simulate a client device and verify end-to-end network connectivity through the FortiGate firewall. By the end of this tutorial, you'll have a fully functional virtual lab that you can use for future networking and security exercises. So let's get started. To download the VMware Workstation installer, we need to visit the Broadcom support page. Go to support.broadcom.com. Click the Login button on the top bar. We need an account to log in. In case you don't have one, you can use the Register option at the top to create your account. With an account created, now log in. I'm now logged in on my Broadcom account. Next, open a new tab on the browser and search for Broadcom VMware Workstation Pro free. Open the Broadcom site link. Scroll down and click the VMware Workstation Pro download link. Here, select the software version according to your OS. In my case, I'm using Windows, so I'm selecting the first option, which is the most up-to-date. In this screen, open the terms and conditions, return, and accept the agreement to proceed with the download. Finally, press the download icon. This may require us to fill an additional form with personal information before downloading the VMware installer. Once the download has completed, execute the file to start the installation process. You can leave the default options and just move forward with the wizard steps. Once the installation completes, click on Finish. To download the FortiGate firewall image, we need to register on Fortinet support site. On your web browser, go to support.fortinet.com to create an account. Select Login. Select Login as email user if you already have an account. Otherwise, select Create Account. You'll be required to insert your personal information to proceed with the account creation. I already have my account created, so I'll just insert my credentials and click on the Login button. You'll receive a verification code on your email. Check your inbox and insert that code. Once you're logged in, you can download the FortiGate image from this place. On the top, select Support and VM Images. In the Platform drop-down menu, select VMware ESXi. I want to use the latest available software, which is 8.0.0 firmware version at the moment. Expand the version and select the New Deployment of FortiGate option to start the download. Once the image download has completed, it's now time to create our FortiGate VM. But first, let's extract the downloaded file and check its contents. Here we'll find different OVF files, which are built for compatibility with different ESXi VMware versions. An OVF file is basically an XML file that predefines the VM properties, including its hardware like virtual disks and network interfaces. Think of it like a VM template. In this case, the OVF file is referencing two virtual disks, which are the VMDK files in the downloaded folder. We'll be using this OVF file for deploying our FortiGate VM. Right-click the file and open it with VMware Workstation. Accept the license agreement. Set a name for the VM and click on Import to create the VM. Before powering on our VM, we need to set up the virtual networks that will be available to the FortiGate VM interfaces. On VMware, go to Edit and select Virtual Network Editor. Click on Change Settings. Currently, I only have a bridged network VM Net 0. This network allows a VM to directly connect to the host network. I will create 2 additional new networks, one NAT network and one host-only network. In your case, they may already be available. My first network, VM Net1, will be a NAT-type network, which allows connected VMs use the host IP address for internet access. And my second network, VM Net2, will be a host-only type network, which is an isolated network for VMs shared with the host virtual adapter. Click Apply and OK to save changes. Next, we'll configure FortiGate VM interfaces with these new networks and verify the VM settings. With the VM selected, click on Edit Virtual Machine Settings. The FortiGate trial license allows to set up a maximum of 2 GB of RAM and 1 CPU, so the default values for these properties are correct. 2 virtual hard disks are also already in place. These were imported from the downloaded file. The trial license allows to use a maximum of 3 interfaces. The first FortiGate interface will be our NAT interface, representing a WAN interface with internet connectivity. You can either select NAT or custom and define the previously created NAT network. The second interface will be connected to the host-only virtual network, representing a LAN interface, where other devices can send packets through FortiGate as its gateway. Here, you can also select host-only directly or specify the VM net under custom dropdown. We're leaving the other network adapters as bridged. Finally, press OK to save our VM settings. It's time to turn on the virtual machine. Let's wait for the boot process to complete. The VM will reboot automatically, as this is the first boot. Once we are prompted for login, we can proceed inserting the default initial FortiGate credentials, which are admin user and an empty password. We're required to set up a new password according to the policy on screen. We're finally logged in as admin on FortiGate's command line interface. Press Ctrl+L keys to clean the screen. By default, FortiGate Port 1 interface is enabled as a DHCP client, so it should have received an IP configuration from the VMware host. Let's verify what IP address port 1 has received executing the following command ending in a question mark. We see port 1 has an IP address ending in .226.128, and we are also confirming this interface is configured as a DHCP client. We can also confirm internet connectivity and DNS services are working through this interface by doing a ping to google.com. It seems internet connectivity from FortiGate is working. Executing get system status return us useful information like the firmware version. Go down pressing the space key. Another important pieces of information are the serial number and the license status. We can see the license is currently invalid. To activate our trial license, we need to use the command execute VM license options. This will allow us to log in using the Fortinet support credentials we used to download the VM image. The account ID parameter is required to define the email. And the account password parameter is used for specifying the account password. Finally, to enable the trial license, use the execute VM license command. As the message clearly specifies, this trial license doesn't expire. However, it comes with some limitations like low encryption methods, 1 CPU, 2 GB of RAM, and 3 interfaces, firewall policies, and routes each. Now confirm the reboot to apply the license. Wait for the system to start again. Log in with admin. We can verify this time the license is valid using the previous command. Another more in-depth command to check more license details is diagnose debug VM print license. On the Fortinet support portal page, we can see that the device has registered. Verify that the FortiGate serial number matches and the model is a VM trial. Back to VMware. Let's check again what IP address has been assigned to FortiGate Port 1 interface, so we can connect to its web interface. Open your web browser and insert the IP address. We'll connect to the HTTPS service TCP port 443. Since the FortiGate VM uses a self-signed certificate that our browser doesn't trust, we get a warning. Select to continue. Insert the admin credentials to log in. We're greeted with the FortiGate setup wizard. Select later because we're not migrating any configuration. We don't want automatic patch upgrades for our system, so we're disabling this option. Confirm this setting. We're now on FortiGate's dashboard. Now that we're logged in on FortiGate's web interface, we can see the license status here. Change the URL to /VM/license. The same limitation regarding the trial license we previously saw on FortiGate CLI is also shown here. Under Network and Interfaces, we'll find the current FortiGate interface's configuration. Let's edit port 1. We'll set an alias of 1 since this will be the interface with internet connectivity. Because this interface is configured as a DHCP client, we see down here that an IP, a DNS server, and a default gateway have been already set up. Select OK to save changes. We are also editing port 2. We set its alias to LAN, and we also need to configure an IP address. To remember what subnet this interface belongs, go back to VMware and open the Virtual Network Editor. Here we can see the host-only network subnet. Let's now configure an IP address in this subnet ending in .128. We're also enabling the ping protocol for testing connectivity to this interface. Now go to Policy and Objects and Firewall Policy. We'll create a firewall policy for doing some traffic tests to confirm FortiGate can route and allow traffic according to its policy configuration. We'll name this policy LAN to WAN, since traffic will be initiated in this direction. For incoming interface, we're selecting the LAN interface, and for outgoing, it will be WAN. For matching the LAN subnet, we'll create the proper object and reference it as source on the policy. Our LAN subnet is 192.168.12.0/24. We will allow any destination and any service coming from the LAN subnet going through the WAN interface. This can be thought of as an open internet access for LAN hosts. Now will be enabled so LAN hosts packets can be routed out. We want all sessions matching this policy to be logged. Save these changes. Now it's time to do some testing. I'll deploy an Ubuntu VM for sending some traffic through FortiGate and verify traffic is permitted and routed to internet. On VMware, we define that the Ubuntu VM will be connected to the host-only network. We can either select host-only or select custom and define our host-only virtual network. I'll now turn on this VM. Right-click the desktop background and open a terminal. As we can see, an IP address is already configured thanks to the DHCP services running on the virtual network. We can also test connectivity to FortiGate's port 2 LAN interface IP, which ends in .128 doing a ping. Connectivity looks fine. We'll set the default gateway of this Ubuntu host to be FortiGate's LAN interface IP. In this way, packets destined to internet will be routed through FortiGate. Next, we can verify if this device has internet connectivity by doing a ping to 8.8.8.8. It's working. To finish the configuration on this Ubuntu host, I'll set its DNS server to Google's IP 8.8.8.8. We can verify name resolution is working by doing a ping to google.com. Name resolution and connectivity are also working. Our final test will be browsing over the internet. These websites are loading properly. Everything seems fine. Let's go back to FortiGate's web interface and confirm traffic was allowed by FortiGate. We need to log in again. Go to our policy list. We can see the firewall policy we've previously created for allowing LAN to WAN traffic is getting some megabytes of matching traffic. Going to log and report and forward traffic, we can see many log entries showing traffic coming from the Ubuntu VM and being allowed by the LAN to WAN policy. Double-clicking on a log entry shows us more details. Here we can see that NAT is being applied to traffic. We can also see what is the source and destination traffic traversing FortiGate and the identified application. This concludes the tutorial. I hope this video has been useful to you.